You have Janet Kataha Museveni, who happens to be Museveni's wife. That's number one. He's the Minister of Education and Sports. Okay. Then you have Muhooza Kainerugaba, Museveni's son, who is the commander of the Defense Forces. Natasha Museveni is married to Edwin Karugire. Edwin Karugire is the chairperson of the Pirao Ridge, famously known as Patriotic Ridge of Uganda, famously known as PLU. Muhooza's group. Let's go here then. You have Odrek Rabogo. Again, who is Odrek Rabogo? Senior Presidential Advisor on General Duties. He doesn't stop there. He is the chairperson, Presidential Committee on Exports and Industrial Development. Odrek Rabogo. Then you have Adonia Ayebale. Now you might be wondering, Mordecai Murisa, Adonia Ayebale is just coming in from United Nations. He's now the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's a brother to Abel Kandiho, Violet Kajubidi, who happens to be Museveni's sister. In 2010, she was appointed Education Service Commission chairperson. And then you have Keleba Kandwanaho, Museveni's brother, famously known as Salim Saleh. He's the shadow president, no doubt about that. Salim Saleh is the shadow president. Like I've always argued and joked, that if Sodo Kaguta, Museveni's brother, gave a call to Jessica Alupo, the vice president, and Prime Minister Nabanja, or Speaker Jacob, or both, Sodo Kaguta said, let me call Jessica Alupo. Hello, Jessica Alupo. I want you to come to my, ranch. Jessica Alupo would want to fly to go and meet Kaboyo. Sorry, Sodo Kaguta. And yes, indeed, broadcasting to you from these United States of the Americas. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might enjoy this conversation. My name is Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live, and happy Saturday. Exactly. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday. Already in the mood for Mordecai Murisa Live? Why not? Let's do this at this right moment. 1, 2, 3. I immensely appreciate you all who keep it Mordecai Murisa Live every day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We recently posted a video that was deleted because we violated a few rules. And I saw many people that saw the video re-uploaded wondering, hey, Mordecai, I clicked on the link of that video and they told me it had been deleted. Yeah, that wasn't done by me. It was done by YouTube. So I had to go in and make a few changes and then repost that video. We were discussing the nationality issues of Dr. Lawrence Muganga, Vice Chancellor for Victoria University, who was appointed Minister of Internal Affairs in Uganda. Unbelievable. A man who doesn't have, he might have what it takes, but who is not eligible to be in that position because of the constitution. The law says we cannot have somebody with dual citizenship serve in an official government position. But Museveni doesn't care. He's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care about the constitution. And besides that, I'm going to show you that I appointed a man in this very sensitive position when he was arrested a few months ago over overstaying his visa, and he was accused of spying on Uganda. But Museveni says, okay, this is the right person to be Minister of Internal Affairs. Unbelievable. So the video is on the YouTube. Please, if you want to go on and watch it, I would truly, truly appreciate you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we're going to be talking about what Ibrahim Ssemujju Nganda, former member of parliament for Chila Municipality, said. He made comments about the cabinet we saw. It is a family thing. Museveni littered the government, the cabinet, with his own relatives. One thing I really hate is Museveni always pretending like, oh, he's a nationalist. At one time he says, I think he refers to himself as a Pan-Africanist. But at one time I saw him, I think it was with former President Ronald Reagan of the USA, and he was bragging on how he fought Gaddafi before the US came in. So he usually uses this talking point, nepotism, we fight nepotism. Or Idi Amin and Obote were more into nepotism. They were employing their family and friends. And I think what Museveni did, looked at Obote and Idi Amin Dada and said, hold my beer when it comes to employing my family members and friends. Because Museveni is the true definition or manifestation of Idi Amin and Obote combined. 100%, no doubt, no lie detected. He goes beyond the atrocities committed by Idi Amin Dada and Obote combined. And when it comes to sectarianism, nepotism, you cannot compare. He is astronomically crazy. And that's what Ssemujju Nganda was able to give commentary or comments about. I'm going to have to show you then. I'm going to have to read you a few names that are in Museveni's cabinet. Watch here.
With the OO, when we had Capital Gang with the president, I asked him, why did you make your wife a minister? How do you supervise your own wife? And he gave a very long story. The wife is back in the cabinet. Mm-hmm. General Saleh's daughter is there. Muhooza's Moram Shartsi Kutesa is there.
Foreign affairs?
No, she's in finance. I think
yes, state finance. Yes, micro.
That's a Moram for General Muhooza.
It's crazy.
Their babysitter, who was taking care of them when Museveni was in exile, Kaboyo is there. The other relatives are there. Tumukunde, the other day his son married one of Museveni's daughters. Is there.
Jeez.
Jim Moore is part of the family, Ramirama and others. It's very difficult to supervise.
Aren't you bastardizing?
I am not the one who...
What does he mean? Okay, I understand he's trying to play devil's advocate, but what do you mean by ain't you bastardizing? No, there's no bastardization there. He's just stating facts.
Appointed the cabinet.
Why would you look at it from relative, the side, the blood?
No, because...
First of all, he's a journalist, and that's what we do. We have what is called a third eye. We see and pay attention to some things that might be ignored. But it is really strange to have all these Museveni relations in the cabinet. It is just stupid.
General Saleh, I gave you that backup and thought it would be sufficient.
Okay.
Since then, I found a minister. And in the following cabinet, they put him there. I think now he realized that there was nothing in being a minister. Now he has sent a daughter.
Imagine.
Saleh's daughter.
Yeah, there's that lady called Desire Muhooza.
Muhooza's Moram, their babysitter, their mother. Now imagine a father chairing a cabinet with all these family members there. And they are not the only, these are the immediate ones. So exactly. There are others, I've told you, Tumukunde, Muhooza, Ramirama, etc. The president is very casual when he's choosing a cabinet.
Yeah, he does it with this arrogance and confidence. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. Let me see what you're going to do to me. It's really, really sad. And look, like you said, these are the immediate ones. Let's go on and look at a few more names in Museveni's cabinet. It's unbelievable. You might not pay attention. And look, you might be a Munyankore for some reason. I don't understand why would a Munyankore support Museveni because I am a Munyankore, but I've never supported Museveni. But if you support people because of their tribe, I think there's a special place for you when it comes to stupidity. Because what does that even mean? But I'm going to have to show you something here. Watch. I'm going to use this microphone. Let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Museveni. This is stupid, to say the least. This is utterly stupid. Let's go on and watch this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to looking at who Museveni has employed, there's a certain point at which the Museveni accomplices and minions and lackeys and enablers have really decided to suspend reason and logic and be like, you know what? Let's support Museveni for the sake of being Museveni supporters. They do not question a thing. This is utterly stupid. I know this might not look clear, but let's start here. These are some of the people in Museveni's cabinet, okay? You have Janet Kataha Museveni, who happens to be Museveni's wife. That's number one. He's the Minister of Education and Sports. Okay? Then you have Muhooza Kainerugaba, Museveni's son, who is the commander of the Defense Forces. That doesn't disturb you? Okay, let's keep going. There's now Natasha Karugire, a daughter to Museveni. Now you might be wondering, does he have any special or any ministerial position? Absolutely not. But Natasha Museveni is married to Edwin Karugire. Edwin Karugire is the chairperson of the Pirao Ridge, famously known as Patriotic League of Uganda, famously known as PLU. Muhooza's group that said, actually they wrote and said that the PLU is not happy with the representatives they have in the ministerial positions. So you see the influence of Museveni here. Then you have Violet Kajubiri, who happens to be Museveni's sister. In 2010, she was appointed Education Service Commission chairperson. And then you have Keleba Kandwanaho, Museveni's brother, famously known as Salim Saleh. He's the shadow president, no doubt about that. Salim Saleh is the shadow president. Like I've always argued and joked, that if Sodo Kaguta, Museveni's brother, gave a call to Jessica Alupo, the vice president, and Prime Minister Nabanja, or Speaker Jacob, both, Sodo Kaguta said, let me call Jessica Alupo. Hello, Jessica Alupo. I want you to come to my, ranch. Jessica Alupo would want to fly to go and meet Kaboyo. Sorry, Sodo Kaguta. Because they know that these positions mean nothing. And don't take my word for it. This has been written about by a number of people. One of them is Mama Media Matembe, who said Museveni doesn't care. He just give these positions where you don't wield any power whatsoever. He does it for cosmetic and aesthetics and optics reasons. But, he knows where power is. Like I said, Salim Saleh is the shadow president of Uganda. No doubt about that. Okay, let's go here then. You have Odrek Rabogo. Again, who is Odrek Rabogo? Senior presidential advisor on general duties. He doesn't stop there. He is the chairperson, Presidential Committee on Exports and Industrial Development. Odrek Rabogo. Then you have Adonia Ayebale. Now you might be wondering, Mordecai Murisa, Adonia Ayebale is just coming in from United Nations. How is he related to Museveni? Look, he's now the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's a brother to Abel Kandiho. Now, Abel Kandiho was the senior presidential advisor. And at what time? He was the Joint Chief of Staff at the Uganda Police Force. Muhooza's family. You see? So, oh my God. Let's go here. I'm not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's bring this closer. We are still looking at we're not done yet. We are not done. This is the Museveni criminal family. Just a second. All right. We are still going, okay? Then you have Jacqueline Mbabazi, who has been appointed Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Jacqueline Mbabazi is a wife to John Patrick Mama Mbabazi, former Super Minister, Prime Minister of Uganda, Museveni's closest buddy, okay? They used to call him Museveni's right-hand man. Now that he's not appointed, doesn't have any position in the Museveni criminal regime, Museveni says, okay, I will compensate you by appointing your wife. How sickening. You have that person. Then you have Bright Ramirama, Minister of State for Agriculture, Animal Industry, Fisheries. And guess what? He's Museveni's cousin. What? What are we doing here? Then you have Jim Muhooza. Jim Muhooza is Museveni's in-law. Is appointed Minister of Office of the President. Now, Jim Muhooza is not related to Museveni, but his wife, Susan Muhooza, who was appointed minister as well, is a cousin to Janet Kataha Museveni. Then you have Henry Tumukunde. By the way, I didn't tell you about Susan Muhooza. I made a note to myself here. Susan Muhooza, a wife to Jim Muhooza, is a sister to Bob and Richard Kaboyo. City tycoons, extremely, extremely rich. You'd wonder, hey, can Susan Muhooza or Jim Muhooza be employed by Bob and Richard Kaboyo? This reeks of lack of talent because they know by the virtue of being friends or closely related to Museveni, they know nobody's going to ask them questions when it comes to service in government. So they would rather be ministers in Museveni's government because nobody's going to ask them questions. Whereas if you have them occupying some positions in private entities or companies, they're going to be questioned. So they would rather go and serve as ministers or whatever, assistant, in any government position because they know. Just a mere mentioning of the name. Oh, that's Jim Muhooza's daughter. Oh, I can't question that person. This is sickening. Okay. Then there's Shartsi Musherure. Shartsi Musherure was appointed Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. She's a daughter of Ssemujju Kutesa, father-in-law to Muhooza. Father-in-law to Muhooza. Now, these people, I don't understand. Father-in-law to Muhooza, Ssemujju Kutesa, gave birth to Shartsi Kutesa. Shartsi Kutesa is being employed by Museveni. Museveni, whose closest buddy is Ssemujju Kutesa. It is the same thing you see playing out with, what's his name? Henry Tumukunde. Whose children is, I think one of them is married to Muhooza Kainerugaba. And Muhooza Kainerugaba is CDF. And it is all category. It is drama. This is what we see in Uganda. A country that goes like this, you can bet this is not talent. No. These people are not being employed because, oh, they're so good. No, at what they do. I mean, you have seen Muhooza Kainerugaba, a man who gloats in the abduction. Take a moment and think about it. Look, we have normalized that vice. It is extremely stupid. It is wrong. We have normalized that vice that somebody is going to abduct people, post them on social media and say, I have killed 22 people. I want the 23rd to be Bobby Wine. And people laugh. Muhooza is funny. It is stupid. I'll clean this later. Oops. Okay. All right. Take it back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I should present the broadcast the show in the, how many more minutes? 5 minutes? While standing. It is stupid, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a CDF, Command of the Defense Forces, who says, you know what? I'm going to kill Bobby Wine supporters. And people be like, oh, that's normal. It is sickening. It is delusional. It is stupid. But it all happens when you have family and friends as your ministers. And then the rest of others are acolytes and minions. Nobody is going to question Muhooza Kainerugaba. I don't know whether you've seen Nobati Mao when he's usually asked, oh, you're the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. What do you say about this? For me, I've told you. I told you. Dude, resign. If you can't confront Muhooza over his lawlessness and impunity. Now tell me, Shartsi Musherure is going to lead an investigation if money is stolen. Is she gonna raise her voice if that money is stolen by Kakurugu Henry Tumukunde? Absolutely not. Or if that money is being siphoned, plundered, our national coffers being plundered by who? Susan Muhooza, a wife to Jim Muhooza. You think that Shartsi Musherure is going to be like, okay, we have made the investigation and we have seen that Susan Muhooza. No, it's not going to happen. Zero. So when you see all these dramatic raids on Anita Amongo's homes and Museveni's tough talk, talking a big game. Just know, this is just flapping of gums. Nothing's going to be done. Because if you have these people, if these are the people you have in ministries, you know for sure these are all going to be accomplices in breaking the law, in stealing the nation. That's why you see Museveni and Sam Kahamba are named in a case where Patrick Ho here in the USA was sent to prison. Museveni and Sam Kahamba Kutesa took a bribe of millions, of tens of thousands of dollars. I think Museveni received $500,000 and Sam Kahamba Kutesa. So nobody's going to report each other. If you have all these people in government, that's why we say nepotism is bad, because it leads to poor leadership, because nobody's going to hold the other to account. When you turn around, you see your brother. When you turn around, you see your sister. Oh, then, for example, who is going to summon Janet Kataha Museveni and question her when the Minister of Education and Sports is performing abysmally? Nobody, because they're all related. Be like, this is the problem with nepotism and sectarianism. We've got to get to a point where it is not just a talking point, where we say, you know what? No. Uganda has got a number of talented people. But Museveni enjoys talking about all these things as talking about, Museveni, Obote with, no. Don't just use it as a talking point. Walk their talk. Walk their talk. This is stupid. This is stupid. And I tell you now I am the enemy for pointing out, Mordecai, if you are ever arrested, they will break you and they will cut you alive and make you eat your flesh. It is fine. Somebody has got to raise the voice like Ibrahim Nganda is doing. But why are we here? And look, like I've said, this is always a selective application of the law or even a punishment, because the first person who pointed out this was none other than Andrew Mwenda. You think I'm joking? Let me show you. I'm going to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, there you go. You have it. Let's have some sort of a mental flight, and let's go to a year 2009. An amazing man does what he does best: investigative journalism, holding power to account, exposing the filth, the lawlessness, the impunity, the sectarianism, and the nepotism, favoritism from Museveni. His name was none other than Andrew Mwenda. Watch here. The article was named Museveni's Government is Family Tree. Watch there. Then says the independent team. He doesn't want to mention his name. He goes on to say, in the story Family Rule in Uganda, the Museveni clan runs government in our issue 050 of the Independent. Only a small list of the president's relatives in government was mentioned in the story. In this issue, we publish a bigger list of relatives and in-laws around president or high government positions. They go on to list them: Caleb Akandwanaho, famously known as Salim Saleh, Janet Kataha Museveni, Bright Ramirama, Shedra Kanzire, Miriam Karugaba, Amelia Chambade. They go to the military: Muhooza Kinerugaba, Sabiti Mujenyi, Kano Katera, Adan Matsko, Jim Muhwezi, Susan Muhwezi, John Wycliffe Kalazare, Sam Kutesa, Henry Tumukunde, Eli Rwakakoko, Moses Byarhanga, Hope Nyakiru, Jody Sabune, Natasha Museveni Karugire, Joseph Ekwau, Alex Kaboyo, Richard Kabonero, Jimmy Karugaba, Edwin Karugire, Odwek Rabogo, Geoffrey Kamuntu, Bob Kabonero, Hannington Karhanga, Don Nyakiru, Albert Muganga, Jovia Sare, Karen Kayonga. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And let me know if that's not, these people can serve their country in different fields. They don't have to be in government. But if you read that article, please go on and type in your, if you type in your Google search, say Museveni's government is family tree. This is 2009. And read what power each one of these people had then and imagine what they have now. Because at that time, like you see here, this was Lieutenant Colonel Muhooza Kainerugaba. Now is a full general. Is a full general now. Go on. It is unbelievable. It is sickening. It's so stupid. Jeez. Let me know what you think. Please share this video far and wide. Let people know what you have to confront. You know, I've always argued getting Museveni out of power will be one thing, but rebuilding our country and defeating Musevenism as a culture will be an uphill task that will take decades. Many people have become so confident and emboldened in doing this that they think this is normal. It is wrong. We are a country of 50 million people with different tribes, different cultures. We are all gifted in, you know, I recently saw the cabinet, they released and said, oh, Uganda has taken a lion's share. Wait for them to wield that power that has been vested into them by the president in a culture of sharing power. They're not going to do nothing. You know that for sure. It's sad. Let me know what you think. Please consider subscribing and please share this video far and wide. I'll immensely appreciate. My name is Mordecai Murisa and I wish you a wonderful time. Bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.